Welcome to the Champ and the Chump Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Corey Idle, aka the Chump. Yay. And joining me, as always, is my man, my co-host. It's my quarterback, man.
This is my
Mr. Lou
man.
Will, aka the Champ, the reigning champ.
The reigning, defending, back-to-back, three-time champ. This is getting out of control.
It's out of hand. It's
out of control.
All at my expense. I don't want to have any part of it. But here I am hosting a show with you. So
yeah, there you go. So hopefully, you can be like the listeners and you can learn something. That's the whole goal here.
And just to let everybody know. Just to let everybody know exactly what kind of show we're going to be doing. Lou, go fuck yourself. With that, to paraphrase my man Jay-Z, we are well known across the interwebs, but please allow us to reintroduce ourselves. My name is Corey Idle. I have a degree in broadcast journalism. I've been on the radio. I've authored 3 different fictional books. And I host a shitload of podcasts with my friends and cohorts. So that's my gig. That's what I do. I love football. Been in fantasy football damn near since it was done with pencils. Haven't ever won shit because I'm terrible at it. But I will tell you this. You come with that shit talk at me, I'm going to walk away with that belt.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
I am the greatest of all time, and I welcome the challengers.
You self-taught, no lessons, clearly, because you have no titles. Self-taught, right. No lessons, and it's evident. It is evident. Well, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to our pilot episode of the Champ and the Chump. This is going to be a great podcast. I am Lou Willard. A little bit about myself. I'm a former Ohio State football player, so I have played college ball. I've been playing fantasy football for the past 20, 25 years. And unlike Corey, I am not an author. I am nobody's author, no. But however, I do host another podcast called Backstage Buckeye, which dives into the life after football aspect of everything. So please give that a like and a follow, subscribe, help that podcast out as well. You guys, what we're trying to do here is we're going to give you great information, great insight from a guy who's played football and from a guy who's been around it his entire life. So we're going to get a lot of stuff right. And we're going to miss every now and then. So interact with the show. We will be responding to your comments. So that is going to be engagement. We are going to get this to where we're going to have listener leagues. So we're going to have Guillotine League, but this whole platform that we're based off of is 12-team PPR leagues. We can talk a little dynasty with you, but our show is going to be, the basis is going to be 12-team PPR, but we will have information for dynasty, standard, DFS, all that other stuff that you want. This is your place to find it, and we look forward to building a relationship with all of you as we move along in this show.
Facts. Can't wait for the listener leagues to hit. Those are going to be so much fun playing with y'all. And
beating.
One of us.
Don't get it wrong. Y'all will lose.
And one thing to correct for Lou, he said he's not an author. He's never authored anything. Lou has authored ass whoopings every year in fantasy football. So
test yourself out. See, this will be my toughest year in fantasy. Why? Because I'm giving the listeners the information, and I'll be drafting against them with the same information that I've given them. So it's all going to be about finding that deep dive sleeper, which we'll get you guys all that information too. But then it's going to be draft positioning, and then, as always, you got to get lucky.
That's it. Our goal here is simple, guys. We want you to win your leagues, and we want you to have fun doing it. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have fun, because that's what fantasies are, right? They're fun.
They're fun. We want you to have a great time.
Boring ass fantasy. And I'm going to say this starting off, just as a blanket message to everyone out there. Trade your fucking players. Don't be in a dead ass league where nobody trades and nobody talks.
I was in the league I was in had 0 trades, but everybody run their mouth. That was one league. Everybody run their mouth, but not one trade. It makes it boring. Guys,
so boring.
Just get involved and trade a little bit. It's
fun.
the trade. You win some, lose some. You know, I mean, like my grandpa used to say, win some, lose some. Oh, brother, it's okay. You're not going to win every deal. You're not going to lose every deal. But what we want you to do to make sure that you don't miss anything is like and subscribe to the show right now. That way, when we release these shows, which will be starting out in the off season, 2 or 3 days a week. When we get in season, you may start to get daily shows, but we are going to be doing 2 or 3 days a week in the off season, bringing you in-depth analysis of what's going on and what you should expect, because drafts are currently going on now. For you guys that drafted in January, I have no idea what you were doing, because you're drafting players who are free agents. They don't have a team. You're drafting players off teams who didn't have a coach. And then you're just missing all the rookies. Like Jeremiah Love, keep that name in mind, because I'll be talking about it when we get to the running backs.
And with that, what we wanted to do here with our first show, obviously, before you move forward, you got to know where you've been, right? We're going to take a look back at the past season, see who were the big winners versus where they were projected. Again, this is all based 12-team PPR fantasy.
Absolutely.
If you have a different thing you want us to look into, want us to cover for a show, comment below. It's that simple. We will do our best. But we wanted to cover some of the winners, some of the busts from the season, see where they ended up, and talk about maybe where they're going to end up in 2026.
Yep.
And with that, here we go. Lou, we got to start with the most important position.
Running back.
Oh, how did you know?
Take it from a former running back is running back, but you're going to say quarterback. So I'm just going to play along.
I was actually going to say receiver. In the fantasy football PPR, give me a receiver every single time. And that's why I lose.
Okay. Okay.
With that being said, final rankings ended up for our top 5. Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Justin Jefferson, and Brian Thomas Jr. Somehow, some way, Justin Jefferson is considered a bust on this because he finished 4th and was considered to be 2nd.
Well, because he just collapsed. Like, he didn't have a quarterback.
No.
You know, T.O. said it best. That's my quarterback, man. He didn't have one, so he couldn't say that. So, yes, I mean, he killed your team. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
When you had to have him weeks really 12 through 15, 16, and we're talking NFL weeks in this situation.
Yeah.
He was non-existent. 2 points, 4 points. You know, there was a 3-week span. I believe he had like 8 points total. That kills you when because you took him in the top 5.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the production you got down the stretch. You were buried, because if you took him, the odds are I guarantee you, unless you traded, you didn't have Njigma, you didn't have Brown. You might have had George Pickens. You might have had Pickens, but you didn't have any of the other. You didn't have St. Brown. You damn sure didn't have Puka.
No.
You know, so you didn't have any of those guys. So he absolutely kills your team. So if you were able to, if you got lucky and traded him early on, great deal. I don't care who you got back, unless that guy got hurt. He didn't do any worse than what you traded.
100%. And to give you an idea of what the gap we're talking about here, Puka finished the season with 375 total fantasy points. Again, PPR. Yep. Justin Jefferson, 339. That's almost a 40-point gap. That is big when you're talking week over week.
Yep, that's massive.
Jamar Chase. Well, let's back up. Puka Nacua. Still wide receiver number 1 going into next year, you think?
See, we don't know. We don't know. He is a product of Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, before you start drafting, let this thing play out. Let's see if Stafford's coming back, then yes. Because remember a guy named Golden Tate?
Mm-hmm.
Stafford made him a top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah.
And now, granted, he played with Calvin Johnson too, but Calvin Johnson, I think he would have been quarterback proof. But we'll never know. But I think he would have been. I think he was like Jamar Chase, quarterback proof. Mm-hmm. But Puka is highly dependent on Stafford. And if Stafford leaves, Puka will be a top 12. He'll be between 12 and 15, but he won't be 1, 2, or 3, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so that's why we got to let all this play out. We'll be giving projections, and our numbers will change. They'll fluctuate. Everything's going to be fluid because guys will get traded. Like we'll get to him. I know I'm getting out over my skis, but where do you put a George Pickens right now? He didn't have a team. Dallas, we all know, will franchise tag him. But for what we're talking about now, he didn't have a team. So, but to answer your question, and to give you the bitch way out of it is, I don't know, but right now Matthew Stafford is still on the team.
Yep.
So Puka is still a top 3 quarterback. Will he be number 1 overall next year? I don't think so. He's top 3 though.
Yeah, I would
based
honestly,
on target share.
Getting the Chump moniker on this show, I think, is going to be nice because I get to take these wild projections and predictions and say, I think Jamar Chase, he was projected to go, let me restart. Jamar Chase was projected as the number 1 receiver preseason. He finished number 2. That's your number 1 receiver going into the draft next year. Jackson Smith and Jigba, more than likely, he's number 2 because his season was crazy good.
Yeah, and the thing is too, you got when you look at this, Puka's only there because it's PPR, and he just gets peppered with 38% of the team's targets. The ball's going to him, period. So he catches 3 balls a game behind the line of scrimmage, but it's a catch where they just snap it and throw it to him. That's 3 points, as we all know. That's why he's up here. Jamar Chase is on a team that wants to do nothing but throw the ball. Mm-hmm. And he is a dog. So he's going to be up there. The problem Jigma can run into, they want to run the ball. Seattle wants to run that football. So on the games where they're just running over teams, he's not going to put up much production. But boy, howdy, when they got to throw, my man is legit. He could be the number 1 receiver next year. I don't think he will be because of the receptions, even though he had well over 100 this year.
Yep.
The receptions could dip. They fluctuate a lot for him, where Puka's more consistently around that 8 to 10 number every game, but in Jigma, I had him in leagues this year. There was games he had 3 for 40 because they just did not have to throw the ball.
Yeah. I can see
the Rams never seem to be in that situation. They're a team that they love running the ball, but boy, they throw it a lot. And when they do, it's going to Puka.
Yeah. And there's evidence to back up what you're saying too, because if you look at their season ending numbers, just compare Jamar Chase to Jackson Smith and Jigba 2 and 3. Chase ended with 368.2. Smith and Jigba ended with 342.5. There's about a 20-point gap there. That's receptions.
That's receptions.
Now, the 2 biggest winners by far versus their projections were Jackson Smith and Jigba, because he was ranked about wide receiver 15-ish in most leagues. Obviously finished wide receiver 3. Huge uptick for him. The surprise of the season was Brian Thomas Jr., which I think everybody would agree the Jacksonville offense was just insane and a surprise this year. Brian Thomas Jr. was preseason projected to be wide receiver 25 plus and ended up wide receiver 5 with 320 points.
Which I still didn't see that, because he was another one that hurt you down the stretch.
Yep.
Because these guys started fast and faded.
Yep.
So I don't even think he's going to be a top 10 receiver next year. And these are for upcoming shows when we give our projections. I can't see me having him in the top, really, it's pushing top 15. I just don't see it out of him, especially with the addition that they had in the trade of Jacoby Myers. It seemed like Lawrence found a new favorite buddy. What is going to help him, though, is they've come out and said that Travis Hunter's only playing defense. So that'll push a couple targets back his way.
Yeah, that'll be good. But I agree with you. When you got names like Amon-Ra St. Brown still up there, it's really hard. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be back. I know they got a quarterback situation in Arizona, but I mean, damn, anybody's going to be better than Kyler Murray at this point.
Yeah,
Anybody that doesn't
wasn't his quarterback. Yeah,
any quarterback that doesn't have a Call of Duty account will be a better fit in Arizona at this point than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he wasn't a quarterback this year. He only played 7-8 games.
Yep.
He just quit.
So there's a lot of really good receivers out there where, I mean, somebody's got to go. And it can't be. I just don't see Brian Thomas Jr. And you can blame his history or youth for that. He just doesn't have the consistency to rank in the top 10 yet, like an Amon-Ra does.
Yeah, and again, Amon-Ra is a target monster.
Yeah,
I mean, so this is PPR. It's just snap it, throw it, point. He got one catch, -3 yards, but he got you a point.
That's it.
So it's crazy when it works out like that. But this list is going to fluctuate for simple reasons. And I know we're speaking on out into the future it shows, but Malik Neighbors is coming back. Somebody getting bumped out the top 10. Somebody got to go because this dude is a top 10 receiver. Somebody got to go. But what do? You got. Go ahead with your list. I'm getting too far off.
No, I think you're 100%. You're hitting the nail on the head. There are just too many names. Brian Thomas Jr. taking away nothing from what he did this season. He had a great season, fantasy wise. Yeah, I'm not taking him over some of these other names.
Oh God! Now, I'm telling you, the more we talk about it, the further down my list he goes.
Yeah, because you have more names coming in your head. Shit, I'd take Devontae Adams over Brian Thomas Jr., I think.
Because right now, because this is just off the top of my head because we weren't focused on solely receivers today. That show's coming up next week or the week after. One of the two. We'll be releasing that wide receiver show and we'll go in depth with these guys. And you guys are going to love it. I'm telling you, stick with the show. You guys are going to love it. We're very excited to bring you this information. Then I'm even more excited when we get our listener lead together for Mr. Idol to finish dead last in our listener lead.
This is going to be the longest running show ever, even if it runs one episode.
That's right.
Shit. All right. Off of receivers, if you're satisfied, we can move on to your number one position, the running back, the unsung hero of the league.
The lowest paid skilled position in the league.
Save drill is last time where they ranked or where they finished. Top 5, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, and Ashton Genty. Christian McCaffrey, projected RB5, finished 1, no surprise. Bijan RB1, finished 2, no surprise. Jahmyr Gibbs, between RB2 and RB3, finished 3, no surprise. Saquon Barkley was projected to be RB3. He finished RB4. And Ashton Genty, somewhere between 4 and 8. He finished 5. Running backs, they nailed them.
Yeah, they did. The running back position, I think it's going to change a lot next year, too. I mean, you start looking at this stuff. I can tell you right now, just as a give you a little Easter egg, as they call them. You won't have to look far for this one. I'm going to give it to you. Bijan Robinson will be the number 1 overall running back next year. And make sure when we put that running back show out, you guys definitely listen because I got a surprise running back that we may not even bring up today, but he will be a top 5 running back. And so listen to that show. Stay tuned for that information.
Shit, I'm intrigued now. I want to tune into the show.
Mm-hmm. You drafted 9th, though.
I don't listen to podcasts. They're gross.
Yeah, buddy, I'm giving it to you right there on that show. I'm going to tell you the running back you want that's going to pole vault to the top 5.
I love it. And do you see what just happened there, viewers? Right when he started to talk, the NFL started fucking with his internet and he started getting scrambled. They're messing with him.
Oh, okay.
They're messing with him. Big Brother's watching.
Yeah, I'm at to check for bugs. They got me bugged up.
That's it. We ain't gonna have it. Something I noticed, Lou, and tell me if I'm crazy. A lot of teams this year, and let me be more specific, a lot of teams with these guys in the top 5 this year. San Francisco, Atlanta, Detroit, Philly, and Vegas. These guys were all workhorses. I know you have Algier taking some stuff away from Robinson. Probably not going to happen this year. or upcoming season.
Yeah,
You have
Algier's a free
Montgomery
agent.
taken away from Gibbs. Probably not going to happen next year.
He won't be on the team unless he takes a massive pay cut.
Exactly. Do you think the workhorse running back is making a comeback?
I think
for a
it
lot
is.
of teams?
I think it is because the defense have adjusted to that wild west passing game by going that too high safety look.
Yeah.
So it's taking away all of that crazy passing way deep down the field and everything else. So they're forcing teams to go to the run. Like I'll give you a free surprise, listeners. I'll give you something to come back to make sure you get the right information. Top 5 running back next year, Kenneth Walker. Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL and he just tore it.
Yep.
So Seattle wants to run that ball. This kid is good. All they got to do is give him the ball. And when they do, I don't know why the share was what it was this year. It cost the Atlanta coaching staff their job pulling that bullshit. What are you sharing? What are you splitting? Why are you taking Bijan Robinson off the field? If he don't tap his helmet, he don't come out the game. If I'm coaching, the only way he's coming out of the game is if he taps his helmet or we're up 20-some points with 5 minutes left. Yep. And I'll give him a couple series off.
Yep.
That's it. This dude is the best running back in the league. And it nip and tug with Jahmyr Gibbs. Those are your top 2 running backs next year.
I was going to ask you, with Algier gone and with Montgomery gone, Gibbs and Robinson to me seem neck and neck fantasy-wise.
Yeah, they are. Here's the difference. And this is where I want you guys to really pay attention to what we're saying to you. You got to look further than the running back spot. Who's quarterbacking? Most importantly, who's coaching? Stefanski's coming from Cleveland. Quinshawn Junkins, and I just told you guys, I'm a Buckeye, so I watch all Buckeye games. Dude was a dog, okay? He was a dog. He was a dog at Cleveland because Stefanski wants to run the ball. He's running that ball with Bijan. Quinshawn Junkins ain't Bijan, and he had a great year. And he had a great year in a division with 2 good defensive play. I know Pittsburgh's numbers were down, but those conference games are brutal in the AFC North. I know they are. They're brutal. So now you stick him in what's arguably one of the softer divisions in football. Yeah, the NFC South. Him being Stefanski, who's going to want to play bully ball with him, and he's got the best running back in the league. This guy may run for 2,000 yards next year. Bold prediction right out the gate. He's going for 2,000.
Now, this question, I'm going to preamble it a little bit by saying, 1, I'm not arguing with you, but 2, this is the variables are why I love fantasy football, because I agree with everything you just said. And then I look at Jahmyr Gibbs. He's got a better team. They're going to have more scoring opportunities. And they're going to be up late in games, which gives him the opportunity to kill games with just carry after carry after carry or check down passes. Am I right there?
And here's the rebuttal to that. He has a better team, which means that ball got to go more places.
Fair enough. And they play in a way tougher division.
Ahmad Rod, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. That ball's got to get spread around. Yep. Atlanta, you have Bijan, you have Drake London, then you have Bijan,
Yeah.
And then if Kyle Pitts is smart, again, look at the coach. Stefanski, look what he did with Njoku. And Harold Fannin was going to be an all-pro as long as Stefanski was coaching him.
Yep. Neither
one of those guys have the individual talent that Kyle Pitts has. But Kyle Pitts has got to want it. Kyle Pitts has to want it because it looks like Harold Fannin wants it. So Kyle Pitts, if he comes and wants it, this dude will be a top 5 tight end again next year because I think he finished in the top 5 this year. But
yeah, he did.
So it all goes back to your coaching. And then, like I say, your quarterback play. Okay. Jared Goff is a very competent quarterback. He could sling that ball. Atlanta's not trusting Michael Penix to sling that ball around. They're giving it to Bijan. So that's the difference in what you're talking about.
Yep.
Penix ain't throwing it 35 times. Goff would throw it 45.
Right. Exactly.
There you go.
What do you see as far as Christian McCaffrey repeating as number 1?
Oh, no, it's not going to happen. I mean, I could be told. Look, full disclosure, I was wrong this year. I thought he was going to be a top 15 running back this year.
Yep.
And, and that's not falling off a cliff, but that's starting to show a little wear on the tires.
Yep.
So, but I still had him as top 15. I did not see him being the number 1 overall back. No, I didn't see it at all. I was dead wrong. I consider that a big miss. When you start missing my 15 spots, you missed.
And
wasn't like
give
I
you
had
an
him
idea.
It wasn't like I had him at 5 and he finished 1.
Right. And this is wild. Just to give you an idea of the gap. Christian McCaffrey finished 1 at 416 total points on the season in a PPR league. Bijan Robinson, 370. That's another 40-point gap between 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's wild. His touches are going to catch up to him. And to his credit, he does not tap out. They're getting boat raced by Seattle in that playoff game. And he's hurt. And he put himself back in the game. Put himself back in the game. He did not. He had every opportunity. And guys, I'm talking with 4, maybe 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. They're down 30-some.
Yeah.
And the coach takes him out. He gets his situation checked out. He's still hurt. He turned around, grabbed his helmet, and went right back in the game. Now, that's as his teammate, I love that. Because we ride and die. We're going to ride together. We're going to die together. It is what it is. But as a coach, I'm going, dude, stay out of the game. It's a wrap. I need you next year. But, he's making an ass ton of money, and he's earning it. And this was the year he's the one player that didn't get hurt and miss a ton of time in San Francisco this year.
Yeah.
Which is weird. They need a new trading team because everybody's getting hurt.
That's crazy. My favorite part, and I don't love anybody getting injured by any stretch of the imagination, but I do love that everybody's blaming the electrical plant next to the practice facility in San Francisco.
Look,
folks just being look, man. Everybody knows when you get too close to a power plant, you get superpowers. You don't get injured. You get superpowers. You become invincible. That's what happens. Everybody knows it. Watch a movie. God,
it's having that reverse effect on them, evidently. Because
apparently,
and they just don't get hurt. These dudes blow knees, tear ACLs, break and dislocate bones. They don't. Ain't nobody pulling a hamstring.
No. Being in San Francisco, though, I'm sure it's Nancy Pelosi's fault. Who's getting kicked out of the top 5? You got McCaffrey, Robinson, Gibbs, Barkley, Genty. Who are you kicking out of the top 5 next year?
Well, McCaffrey's going to go out of the top 5. And I think Ashton Genty will as well. I can't call the Raiders coach off the top of my head, but Genty, they just need too much. And they got a rookie quarterback. They have no wide receivers. So he faces another year of 8, 9-man boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Brock Bowers, but they don't have anybody to make the defense respect the pass. And no one, bless Mendoza's heart, no one is going to respect him. He ain't done. This is not Indiana. He has not done anything in the league.
No.
And I'm not saying that because he beat my Buckeyes. I'm saying that because he's a rookie.
Oh, yeah.
Like exactly. if my Steelers start Will Howard, ain't nobody respecting Will Howard.
No.
Why would you? Yeah, he hadn't taken a snap in a game.
It's the same reason.
Mendoza has the same amount of snaps.
Facts. And you could see now, this is the same reason, and a lot of people overlook this, why guys, and I'm not saying they're not talented, but why guys like CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels have these epic rookie seasons, and then it seems to collapse. They're not collapsing. They know who they are now. They're getting a little more used to them. So, yeah, it's just I totally see that. And Clint Kubiak's the Raiders head coach now.
Yeah, Kubiak. Thank you. But
again, I don't see that making or breaking Ashton Genty. That's not a hire that wows me.
No, because what you're dealing with, though, is you're dealing with a first-time head coach. Mm-hmm. Now you have a rookie quarterback because they're taking Mendoza. If they don't, I don't know who they got to be trading for somebody if they're not taking Mendoza.
Facts.
You're dealing with a rookie coach. First-time coach, rookie quarterback. And you don't have a true number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
So what I don't understand, everybody knows the young man is getting the ball, and he's good. But at least Bijan has London and Pitts to somebody else can get it.
Let me ask you.
And, he's just going to face 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes. It's crazy.
I'm going to get way off topic here, but this just popped into my head. Hypothetically, they trade Max Crosby. How high of a first-round pick did they get from Max Crosby?
They get a second-round pick. They're not getting a first-round pick.
They're not getting a first-round pick. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's all. That answers my question then.
Yeah, like people talking about, trade TJ Watt, get a first-round pick. For who?
Right.
You ain't getting a first-round pick for TJ Watt. I mean, you're taking on the salary as it is.
Yeah, it may be an asking price, but you ain't getting it.
Yeah, like Max Crosby's trying to talk his way to come to the Steelers because he loves the defensive coordinator's Pittsburgh got, which is Patrick Graham.
Yeah.
But I can't see Pittsburgh could get him, but it would cost them Alex Highsmith. And I think I'd rather have Alex Highsmith.
Yeah.
Dude, rather, But I mean,
for the role he plays in the defense, yeah, you'd rather have him.
I'd rather have him. But
Makes sense.
they're not trading first round picks for defensive ends or edge rushers as they're called, whichever, depending on if you're playing a 4-3 or 3-4.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I apologize for getting off topic. Just my thought was if they could trade themselves up into the first round and get another good first round pick, they could technically draft Mendoza. They could technically draft a wide receiver, and that may free up Genty a little bit later in the season. But that's a lot of ifs.
But you got to keep in mind, this draft is receiver heavy.
Yeah, it is.
They should be able to get a really good wide receiver. If they trade back into round one, they'll definitely get one. But you can get one in the second or third or fourth rounds because it's so deep at the receiver position. But now you add in a first-year coach, first-year rookie quarterback. Now your number one receiver is a rookie.
Right.
Your next year might be tough if they all work out. You look good 2 years because your main players are all on rookie deals. That's how you build your team. But the Raiders have this nasty habit of firing coaches.
A little bit.
So would a coach be around long enough to lose and get a chance to show that he can coach? Whole different story. These are shows. We'll do a whole entire show on this as we get closer to the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Potential trades, where guys are going. Yeah. So you guys are getting a really good feel for what this show is going to be about. So this is something you definitely want to tune into on, every time we release a show, like and subscribe so you get that notification.
Love it. And let's move on to the most protected, the endangered species, the great pandas of the NFL. I'm, of course, talking about the quarterbacks.
I thought you was talking tight end. Oh, you said protected, not missing.
Yes, exactly. Gotcha. Exactly.
Not talking about the milk carton crew yet, are we?
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, we'll save that one. That's just going to be a who cares show. Top 5 quarterbacks. Josh Allen, projected 1, finished 1. Drake May, finished 2, projected 15. Matthew Stafford finished 3, projected 22. Trevor Lawrence finished 4, projected 20. And Jalen Hurts finished 5. That quarterback that really, really sucks. He finished 5 and was projected 4. So 3 huge surprises in the quarterback arena and 2 who pretty much hit exactly where they were expected to be. Josh Allen, do we see him falling after everything that's happened, or is he still going to be?
Actually, I can see him going up because now Joe Brady's the head coach. Yeah. That's his boy. They love him. I don't see he may drop because I don't know if he'll run as much because of the breakout of James Cook. So he may not run as much. Hopefully he doesn't because he's getting older and those hits do add up.
Yeah, but well, again, I'll hang on to the damn ball either.
Yeah, you might want to tuck that away, but he doesn't. But I can see him losing. If he loses those goal line carries that he's getting, or if he chooses to turn around and hand the ball off, it's up to him. That will drop him probably to 2. But he's easily top 3. That without question, top 3.
Right.
And imagine if they get him a wide receiver.
Oh my gosh. That'd be unheard of.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, we don't have to cover him too much. Drake May, though, finished second.
He falls out of the top 5.
He has to, right?
Well, they're not going to play the easiest schedule in the last 15, 20 years in the NFL. It's one of the easiest in the history of the NFL. That being said, there's no easy games. There's no easy games in the NFL. You can only play who they schedule you to play. So he did what he was supposed to do.
Yep.
There, like I said, and I know you're a Patriot fan because everybody makes mistakes, but at the same time, they're a year or 2 early. So they'll get boat raced in the Super Bowl. You know, I actually played with Vrabes at Ohio State. I love Vrabes, but I think they're about to take a shiner. But look out for them next year because the best experience is the best thing you can have.
Right.
So no matter what they go into next year, the moment will never be bigger than what they're going into in this Super Bowl. So they're not going to be overwhelmed by going to Buffalo in their new stadium when it's rocking and rolling and the place is rowdy. They're not batting an eye. They're not batting an eye. I don't care where they go. They're battle tested. Regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl, they're battle tested.
I think, too, what's going to be interesting to see is how they build now around May, because they have a good running system between Stevenson, who might not be there, and Travion Henderson, who's the real deal.
If you being a Patriots fan, you hope Stevenson is not there so you can go ahead and give the ball to the best running back you have back there.
Exactly. Receiver-wise, that's going to be where I'm curious because you got Steph Diggs on a 1-year deal. You got Demario Douglas and Kenyon Booty. I love them all. But
you don't have a true 1.
I want a 1. Give me a 1. Yeah. And that's not taking away from any of the guys because they've had great seasons.
You have 2 good 2s.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you get a legit 1, now you have a solid 1, 2, and somebody can go to 3.
That's it.
And why would you do that? Because you have this kid on this rookie deal. You got to take advantage of that.
100%.
And then at that point, you're just shoring up the line. I don't know your team like you know your team. Maybe the line is right. I don't know. But the left tackle needs to be an anchor because this kid can't get blindsided.
No, you got to be strong. That's what happened during their playoff run.
Okay. Yeah, because you got to have a good center and a good left tackle. The center because he can call the plays when the quarterback can't.
Yep.
And the left tackle for obvious reasons.
No, center for the Patriots is a dog. That whole left side of the line, they're both rookies, left tackle, left guard. But left tackle Will Campbell has been getting dusted in the playoffs, which is why Drake May has so many fucking fumbles because he's just getting blindsided constantly. But
you can't have that.
That's a different show. No, so I'm just
get
curious
into our team projections and divisions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm just curious to see how they're going to build around Drake after the Super Bowl run and to see how that fits into where he projects out for next season. Let's assume, Lou, Matthew Stafford stays on the Rams. Yeah. Coming off his MVP, great team. I don't know why he would not want to end his career there. Won a Super Bowl there, etc.
Oh, if he's playing again, he's playing for McVay. They have a great relationship, and why would you? It's not broke. It's not broke now. You know, don't go trying to fix it anywhere. You know, and you can't go back home because Detroit doesn't need a quarterback. So
that's
stay
true.
where you're at. Yeah, stay where you're at.
Does he stay 3 for the upcoming season? We bump him as well.
Yeah, and not because of his play, because of Caleb Williams, because of here's another name as we get into these shows, Jackson Dart.
Yep.
Keep in mind, the head coaches, Harbaugh.
Yep.
He's not the runner Lamar is, but the young man could play being Dart. And then you have guys that's going to jump up in there. Caleb Williams, watch Ben Johnson turn him loose and let him run more. Because his legs is what helped get them as far as they got. He needs to run more because he also runs without taking the big shots.
Yeah.
And then this list doesn't include Joe Burrow, who missed a ton of the season with another freak injury. If he didn't get hurt, he's a top 5 quarterback in this because all they want to do is throw the ball. And he has 2 of the best receivers in the league throwing that he's throwing to.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you could still make an argument for Lamar Jackson being in the top 5. So
yeah, that
makes sense.
I'm just stopped. I just mentioned enough to bump Stafford out of the top 5.
Right, exactly.
So he's not going to be in the top 5.
Another guy I think is going to fall into that is Trevor Lawrence. He finished 4.
Yeah, and I'll say he's going to drop, but I'm not going to, chew my food twice. But it's the same reasons.
Yep. And here's a surprise for me. And I think I'm going to catch some shit because I don't think he's as bad as the attention he's been getting. Jalen Hurts is not going to be a top 5 quarterback next year, mainly because I don't see A.J. Brown being there. And with Devonta Smith by himself.
I think the shot that he has is they have a new offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is what killed him this year. They went to Buffalo, and once they got that lead before they end up losing the game at the end, they threw the ball twice in the second half. Come on, man. I know it was snowing or raining or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
But you're not going to give him – why'd you give him $164 million then? To hide him? You can't hide with that what's that duck that be swimming in his money in the cartoons?
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck. You can't hide when you got Scrooge McDuck kind of money coming in there every Wednesday on your direct deposit. Let the man play. But his own coaching staff, think about this with Hurts. Mm-hmm. Since he was at Alabama, he's dealt with his own coaching staffs doubting him his entire career. And then what? This is what? How many offensive coordinators? Because this is a new one. He keeps getting new coordinators. He deals with coaches that doubt him, and all he does is win. Amazing. If y'all don't want Jalen Hurts, I'll take him. He is a winner. There is something to be said for people that's just winners, and that's what he is. That's why I think he will be a top. I think he will be. I think he will be.
Dig it. Let's move on to tight ends. Get these projections or this roundup wrapped up. No surprise.
Conversation. Tight ends. That was interesting.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Trey McBride finished 1, projected 2. Kyle Pitts 2, projected 18. Travis Kelce 3, projected 6. Tyler Warren 4, projected 10. And Brock Bowers 5 was projected 1. So Trey McBride's a dog. Kyle Pitts finally showed up at the end of the season.
Keep in mind, I know I said Kyle Pitts and Stefanski will be a hit, but then go back and listen. I said if Kyle Pitts wants it. He wanted it this year. Why? Because he's playing for a contract. Oh, so he showed up. Once he gets his money, what's he going to do? So you're taking your chances. Even though I'm telling you, he could be a breakout under Stefanski, be careful. Be careful, because once he gets paid, he may disappear on your ass. Brock Bowers dropped because he started the season hurt and tried to play through it because the Raiders were dumb. Instead of just letting him set the first 4 to 6 weeks and then breaking him out, he tried to play through it, and they let him.
Yep.
They let him, and he never got untracked. He'll be untracked this year. He's one of those guys that's just going to get the ball. But your number 1 or number 2 tight end going into next year is going to be Colston Loveland.
Yeah. Well, I also think you can make a case for Tyler Warren unless you think the Colts are just going to fall off now. They had a moment and it didn't hit and it's over.
Here again, who's the quarterback?
Right.
The rest of these guys we talking about, McBride, right now your quarterback is Brissett. Loves him. Who is a rookie quarterback's best friend? A good running game and a tight end. Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers.
Yep.
So now you go to Chicago, and Caleb Williams just loves Colston Loveland. Loves him.
Oh yeah.
So and Ben Johnson in the dummy. Look what he did for Laporta. Exactly. This is what this kid is getting ready to do. Tyler Warren, you have a great running back there, but if you're rolling out with Anthony Richardson, because keep in mind, Daniel Jones probably won't be ready for the start of the season with that Achilles.
No.
And if he goes back to them, he may leave. But if you go out with Anthony Richardson, man, you can write Jonathan Taylor off, because you don't want that quarterback situation.
Yeah, that is a fact. I wouldn't want that at all. I think Indianapolis is going to be one of my biggest question marks going into next year.
But that stuff will be settled. A lot of stuff is going to be settled right after that draft, because then you know what you're starting with. And then as you go to OTAs, mini camps, obviously it gets to be easier to project because guys are getting cut, rosters are getting set, and away you go.
Right. So let's talk some busts real quick as we round out the show here. We got about 15 minutes left. What do you define as a bust? To put you on the spot.
I defined a bust as a dude to come in with all these high expectations, gets the opportunities, and still doesn't get it done.
Okay.
People said Malik Neighbors was a bust. The man tore his ACL.
Yeah.
It's not a bust. Brock Bowers, unfortunately, this year was a bust. I understand he was banged up, but you should have sat down. You got the opportunity because you played. They set you down after the fact, so it just didn't work out.
Right.
That's what I view as a bust. So it sucks because he didn't have to be, but they made him a bust by putting him in the situation they put him in.
That fits. Yeah.
Guys like DK Metcalf, you're making all this money. You, sir, were a bust. For my Pittsburgh Steelers, you were a bust. You did not live up to your contract.
So what about a guy like, I'm throwing this out there because this isn't, and to be clear, we're talking fantasy busts here. We're not saying these guys suck. We're not saying they are bad or they should be off the team. Any of that shit. This is just a fantasy conversation. I want to, because a lot of people while out with this shit and start getting personal with these players, and we're not going to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you look at, because what I just said about DK Metcalf, you could take it as I'm saying it to him about just the player. But no, I'm saying what you were the number one receiver. You didn't put up number one receiver numbers. Exactly. That makes you a bust in fantasy football. It's that simple. So maybe a great guy. I don't know.
Was a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown a bust? He was projected to be wide receiver 3, ended up with 308 points. Not great for what his projection was. I mean, if you compare him to, top 5, he's in the top 10. Brian Thomas Jr. finished with 320.
He wasn't a bust until you and I traded.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for those of you who are about to find out, I traded St. Brown to Corey and got back Saquon Barkley, and they both disappeared, and they both properly disappeared when we made the trade. But if you look at it, it all depends on where you drafted him. Did you draft him top 5? Then he probably didn't give you as much as you needed, and then he sprained his ankle. He played through it. And that was actually a pretty good game he had with that sprained ankle, but the team was just so up and down. And it's partly because he's not producing like they expected him to. Right. So to call him a bust might be heavy-handed, but to say he didn't give you what you thought he would is very fair. But bust, I don't think it's a bust.
I am seeing Alvin Kamara listed as a bust. Any thoughts on that? I mean, I would say yes.
I mean, he's the bust. He's a bust, but
that's also on you, isn't it, for taking Alvin Kamara that high?
That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, he was the guy I took my Sharpie at the draft and drew a black line through his name. So I'm not even tempted to take him if it's the 10th round, because it was over. Had great career, but it's just over. So what are you drafting him high for anyway?
Exactly.
So that's your own damn fault.
For me, like Evan Ingram, tight end for Denver, he was a bust.
He was a bust, yeah.
He's a top 10 ranked tight end, finished outside the top 15. Huge decline in targets. Dalton Kincaid for Buffalo.
Yeah, and they threw the ball enough in Denver for him to get some production that he did not get.
Exactly. And even at the beginning of this season, Kyle Pitts was nowhere to be seen. He didn't kick in until the second half of the season. Mark Andrews, who I drafted, that's how you know he didn't do shit. He was gone all year.
But Kincaid, this is why I'm gonna love this show, because we bring a different perspective. We bring a different perspective, which is what you want. He's not a bust to me because I wouldn't have had him ranked that high because they have Dawson Knox.
Right.
So I'd have never had either one of them ranked very high. I wouldn't have had them low, but I'd have had them beside each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had one up here and one down here.
And
you watch the games he throws to both of them.
Oh, 100%. And to be fair to what Lou's saying, Kincaid was a top 7 preseason tight end in PPR leagues. That's wild. And this is an average of all projections.
Yeah.
And he ended up finishing 30th.
See, and that is a bust. And that's also a product of how bad that position is for them to think that he's the 7th best coming into it. Because I can't see that. And it should have never been that high.
No, same. Patrick Mahomes. Bust?
I don't think so. Then he got hurt, but it's no running game, and plus, would you want him as your quarterback? Hell yeah! But we're talking fantasy football,
right?
He didn't put up people's expectations of him in fantasy football. Quite frankly, are unrealistic.
100%.
So he can be labeled a bust every year.
Yep.
But I don't think he's a bust. No, I'm not a Chiefs fan by any stretch, but
I'll give you a surefire bust. I think he's a bust in the same way Kyle Pitts can be considered an early season bust, because Patrick Mahomes hit late in the season and went nuts. But until Rashee Rice got back, they didn't do shit.
Yep.
I can tell you this is a bust for me across the board. Baker, drafted by the Chump, motherfucking Mayfield. That's who's a bust.
Fell apart. Remember, look, in week 6, they were talking about him being the MVP of the league.
MVP, runaway MVP.
Did he complete another pass the rest of the year?
No.
He fell completely off a cliff.
The second Mike Evans left, everybody went, uh-oh, and then Emeka Egbuka, and they went, okay.
Emeka Egbuka disappeared. Yeah.
Because Chris Godwin came back. And when Chris Godwin came back from injury, that whole team went to shit. And to talk about that as another bust, Chris Godwin was a number 17 preseason wide receiver.
Whoo.
Yeah, he finished. You ready? 131.
That's a bust. And it's a bust because the initial ranking was bad.
Yeah.
The dude was coming off an injury. They weren't even sure when he was going to be back. So how can you rank him as the 17th in 17th place in the 17th position? We don't know when he's coming back.
That's insane.
So you set him up to fail. You set yourself up to fail. The only reason you take him in the draft is because your receiver core is loaded and you can just stash him on your IR spot.
Yep. Now, here's one I got, and we can wrap on this because I know this is going to be near and dear for your heart. I disagree with this because I don't think it's fair. Caleb Johnson is listed as a huge bust. Preseason round 7. Didn't play in 21% of the snaps for the Steelers this year.
You mean he only played in 21?
Yes.
Yeah, because trust me, I watch it every game. And when he made the mistake against Seattle, his season was over.
Yep.
But the reason he's a bust is because his initial ranking was wrong. And let me start over. I understand his initial ranking because at the time, who knew Kenny Gainwell was going to be the MVP of the Steelers?
Yep.
You just thought he was going to be a guy that got in every 2 or 3 series on third down. And everybody disrespected Jaylen Warren's ability. Mm-hmm. So this kid ran into 2 problems, Gainwell and Warren. And then he ran into the fact that he made some mistakes in the pass pro, and your quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers already don't like rookies. And he was struggling to pass block. Running the ball wasn't his problem. But, son, you got the block. And he couldn't pick it up. So therefore, you can't have your quarterback getting hurt. Now, I imagine having one my age getting hit.
Yeah.
Now I'm 52 now. I'm 52, y'all.
I was going to say.
Like 10 years. But
you've told the truth this whole show, and then you lie at the very end.
I'm 50 deuce. I'm 5 deuce.
Quarterback my age. I'm like.
But you know what I'm saying? The man got an AARP card too. Mm-hmm. I got mine. He's in the mail. But so the kid, I understand. So yes, he's a bust.
Yep.
Because he's a bust not judging because he didn't live up to his ranking. He's a bust to me because you couldn't even make a dent in the play. You couldn't even make a dent in the team's success or failure. Go out there and do something wrong. I mean, just get on the field. There were games he didn't get a helmet.
Yeah.
That's a bust. Now, with McCarthy coming in, McCarthy has a history of good running backs. He likes the bigger guys, and he's had great success with them. And guess what this kid is not? And guess what Roman Wilson is no longer? In the doghouse. Totally new staff. Completely new. I think Pittsburgh retained 3 coaches. And they traditionally had, I know I'm going too far into the weeds, but they had the smallest coaching staff in the league for decades. Mm-hmm. Now they've almost doubled the size of their coaching staff. Why is that? Because McCarthy said, I don't know who was it, blame Tomlin. People blame Rooney, but Tomlin all he had to do say he need more coaches. Tomlin don't want more coaches because Tomlin wanted all that control. Mm-hmm. And I'm a Tomlin guy. He just had to go. And that's great. Wish him the best. But with McCarthy, he understands he has to delegate. So he has to get his coaching hires right. But this kid has a chance to play next year. Believe it or not, it's a crowded backfield because he can play. But again, who's the quarterback?
The all-important question that will plague us every single show leading into the draft.
You can't start with a quarterback that don't like you.
I love it. Lou, wrapped up. Got anything else for the kids at home?
No, I mean, you know what? I'm looking forward to bringing you guys great information, 2-3 times a week, maybe even 4 as we get closer to the season. I'm really looking forward to this show taking off. Again, hit that like and subscribe button so you're notified. Get with us in the chat. Stay tuned. Like, we have plenty of time to start forming these leagues. As we get the listeners going, we'll start forming leagues closer to the season. There's no need to form them now. It's way too early to be drafted anyway, in my opinion. But I understand people are. But welcome to the show. The Champ and the Chump is going to be a great source for your fantasy football, and it will lead you to some success and some titles. Matter of fact, I'll have my trophy on the next show. Show y'all what it's all about.
There you go. And with that, I'm going to remind everybody, check us out over at calibrationmediagroup.com. That is our podcasting network home. You can find us there. You can find Lou's other show, Backstage Buckeye, where he interviews former Ohio State athletes about life after sports. You can find Kiss the Reviews, an R-rated movie review comedy show hosted by the fantastic producer of this show, Armando DiBernardo, and the incomparable Mindy Willard, hosting the fantastic and hit show at calibrationmediagroup.com, Fashion at 50, where she styles every lady and man who might need a little help getting over the age hump of 50 and over. Check us all out over at calibrationmediagroup.com. For Lou Willard, the professor, I am Corey Idle. We will catch you on the flip side.